Testing. One, two, three. One, two, three. Testing. One, two, three. Hello. I don't know if my audio is working. Oh, you can? Oh, okay. Is this your Zoom or my Zoom? Really? I couldn't find it on my schedule. I was like, how do I? Yeah, I went to my meetings and tried to start it, but it didn't show up. My recurring meetings. But I went to the chat and I clicked on the link and it opened up for me. So guess that works too. Oh yeah, yeah.
Talking. Hey Zong.
Hey Kevin.
Sorry we weren't able to link up.
Oh, it's okay. Whenever you get time, just message me.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going.
I'll ping you. Well, I think we should be able to do something tomorrow night if that works.
Sounds good.
All right.
I don't see a lot of red. I mean, I see maybe if Monday, but I think we turn around at the end of the week. We hit that 400. Yeah, but we had a nice week previously. I mean, all time high. What do you expect? It's got to pull back. Yeah. We went all time high twice. So, so, no, I think either we you know get a pullback early morning and then go up the rest of the week. No, I mean early morning pullback. It's just at the open and then boom. We're all time highs. Break. Wishful thinking, yeah. You got to be positive. Mm. Yes. Yeah. Just buy it. Long term, just buy it. I don't think we ever closed. Miami's there's tons of people in Miami. Spring breakers. It's crazy. Mm. Yeah, should be funded. Alright, so without
California, I don't know anything about reopening. I mean, people are still getting out and about, right? You just shop around, but some places are a little bit more loose than others.
buy and pray. No, any long term, any long term stock. You just want to look at the company, look at the product, right? Um, and that's it. You have to make a decision if this is something that you would buy, and you would see other people buying, and is this product, the life of this product, is this going to be just a quick fad, or if it's going to be uh, something that's going to go on forever, right? Right. So like let's take a look at for example, like 23andMe, right? right? I don't think they're gonna be they're gonna have a ticker, but I think they're merging through. What was it? I traded it. Kevin, help me out. It's merging with the SPAC. Oh yeah, the Galactic. Which which one was it?
Is it Virgin Galactic?
Yeah, VGAC.
VGAC.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, we were in VGAC because we thought, no, this is, this SPAC is going to be space related, right? Because it says right there, VG, Virgin Galactic, right? So I think they ended up picking 23andMe, and it had that huge spike up. And I said, I didn't like it. I didn't like that they are gonna reverse merge with 23andMe. So I took it at that spike, and just for the fact that how many times can you take a DNA test and get your information, and what are you gonna do with that? Or you subscribe to the service and to see if you got any children out there, but um, you can only sell the product once, and the service, yes, but after a while, there's no point in having the service if you don't match anybody out there or something like that. So based on you have to based on my what I thought of the company and their product, I decided I'm not going to invest in this company. So when you pick a company, you want to make sure that that product can last and people will keep buying it over and over and over. Like Apple, like they come out with a new phone, everybody buys it, even though their phone was just 6 months or less than a year old. They want to go get the new thing. So in that case, I mean, you're gonna have to read the news. And you're gonna have to make that judgment, right? Seeing what their products are, where they're headed, right? Like Apple, let's take Apple, right? Apple got the hardware, right? Computer hardware, phones, the store, the software, their iOS store, Apple TV. They branch out, and not all the products are successful, but the core of their products is successful. So their phones, their I'm not gonna say PC, but their Mac line of products. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You can use Yahoo. I use Finviz, Nasdaq. You can just go straight to Apple or whatever their company into their investor relations. Sometimes they have all the information there too. But Nasdaq will usually have all of the news and all the a lot of information on there too. Mhm. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you we all know Apple. We all know like Exxon. We all know Chevron. Toyota, or the big companies we all know. But there's the little ones where you have to do a little research, and you have to go with your gut instinct. You know, whatever you think. Because like if you were at the beginning of Amazon, you're like, yeah, this guy, these guys just sell books, right? Online. So maybe you wouldn't have thought to buy. Oh, it's a bookstore. But if you thought it was a bookstore, then you're wrong, right? Because it is the business is online and shipping products and stuff. Uh, like when I first started, I picked a lot of banks, right? And I picked out one that lost to Lehman Brothers, right? I picked them, they lost, but I already knew they were going to go out. It was just one of those, uh, you get that 1% that maybe they might get bailed out maybe, but they don't. But uh, I just try to go with the bigger names, right? Like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, um, that I knew because just being a regular consumer, you could drive down the street, you'll see um, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, right? And at that time, living in Minnesota, that's what you see. So, brand, just I guess brand awareness of those companies, right? Um, you, when I entered in the during the last crash, uh, like I say, when you enter in a crash, it looks like you're a genius, right? But um, you know, if you're enter any other time, you may not look like it. But I had a lot of success early on just because they all moved back up. But I had a lot of where I missed out, like Facebook. I sold Facebook at $40. I sold Baba at $1, 120. So it's you know uh, it's to where I should have just held on instead of just okay, let me get out. Um, but like Lehman is the only one that went bankrupt on me. Well, they were already in the process of going bankrupt, but that was the only one that I really had that um, went bankrupt. But everything else, as long as I held through the years, they all went up. Like Alibaba, right? I bought Alibaba at $90 during IPO when they first IPO. It was a few years that they're down in the 60s, but it was just- I held and it came back, and unfortunately, it it did profit, but uh, I sold early. Just because I thought that they would perform a lot better from IPO, but it's just one of those things where you don't truly know. But if the company is strong and you believe in it, then eventually it's gonna come up. Even if you may be down a couple of years, but eventually they'll come up. I wouldn't necessarily say because no, who likes to lose, right? But but if the company is strong enough that you have the confidence that they'll be around in 5-10 years, and the price, the stock price will um, reward you if they perform. Mhm. Mhm. Uh, yeah, possibly. But I did really um, getting into Baba. I did really think that they were going to be a big company, and they would compete with like the likes of other online like you know uh, Amazon and Google and stuff like that. And which they have. They've expanded out. Right? I mean, they have the equivalent of like Amazon Web Services down there too. So they own Ant Group right now, which is a pretty big. I think probably the second largest financial institution in China now. So the fundamentals is going to hold more weight, right? Because where is the bottom? We don't know the bottom, right? The only time they will think we see a bottom is if company goes through a couple bad years of you know fundamentally bad decisions, or regulatory government um, yeah, buy the dip. No, but yeah, like government regulations and stuff like that will bring them temporarily down, but eventually all those things gets worked out. So it's not finding a bottom. If the company fundamentals are good and they're growing year over year, you could, if you're wrong, you hold it a couple years and it comes back up and moves up further. One, you try to look at the product. That's the main thing, right? Well, we can look at P and we can look at those can be easily manipulated. Um, and, we probably don't have time to go through the details, but um, you want to look at the product. You want to look at, okay, if I took a look at 5 years of just annual returns, right? Uh, what are the revenue growing up, and you know um, you can look at earnings per share, but are their revenue going up, their sales, um, and if year over year, you see 10-20% move up, then um, you know you can say that the company, based on their product, if they have solid product, yeah, company is growing, and it's then that you can make your decision if you want to invest in this company or not. Yeah, yeah, because without looking at the stock price, if you just looked at all that, you say, hey, this is something I'm willing to invest in, then you know, yeah, yeah, go ahead and invest in it, for long term. Yeah, if you're trading, then just go look at the charts. If you see a dip, buy it. So, yeah, yeah, and that's the difference between day trading and investing. Investing, you want to look more into the company. Day trading, you can look at something that's running and you don't even care what the company is sometimes. you just see it's moving up, and you look at the time of sales level 2, and you just say, okay, this is good, you know. So you just trade it in and out. But sometimes I day trade, and I don't even know what the company does. Just go because it's moving. Mm.
Well, you know, I take the long range view, right? So I'm more into um like what's it called, Peter Lynch's philosophy, right? Is what you use, right? What you use on a daily basis. And what I'm trying to figure out right now is if we go into a period of stagflation, right? Which high inflation and GDP growth is not there, right? And you have inflation. So how do we hedge against that? Because the cash is going to even be worth less, right? So how do inflation right now, people say it's 3%, but with the amount of money that the government's pumping into the economy, and if the economy later on this year doesn't turn around, then it's going to stagnate. Okay, this is the dilemma that I have right now, is that I'm holding on to a lot of cash, but where do you put it? Because you want to put it where somewhere is going to grow, so that's going to outpace inflation. And quite honestly, I can't see anything but into the consumer products sector, and then the internet space, because that's kind of like everybody uses that, right? Even cell phones and cell phone providers and internet service providers. You can bet on things like Tesla, but if nobody has a job to go buy their new Tesla, what happens, right? So the growth stocks are going to be risky, and you're hoping that your consumer staples are going to outpace inflation. So those are the things that I'm trying to decide what do I do, on that. And I think, your strategy of selling covered calls is a good way to enhance the dividend play, right? Because you already get a dividend play for 5, 6, 7, 8%. And you can do a covered call on top of that, you may earn an additional 5 more percentage points, right? So you may earn 10 to 15 or 10 to 12 percent. So I'm hoping that will outpace inflation when it does hit. So that's my concern. So I'm still in a dilemma. I know which areas to get into, but even then, I'm unsure. Yeah, I wouldn't even go with banks, because with crypto and all that, is the I don't think the banks can outpace inflation too. That's the problem right now. Yeah. 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 No, like tonight I put in some orders to buy additional shares of different flavors of ARC. Then I said, you know what? I canceled all those orders, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna go and put it all into telecom stocks, because that's what I know. That's the industry I'm in, and I know people, use the internet no matter what. People are gonna use the internet, and even if they're jobless, they need the internet to search for a job or play video games while they're waiting to get a job or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, if if we do enter into a period of stagflation, do you think oil and gold would be the two plays that?
Yeah. I mean, that's usually the safe haven, but now with everybody sliding over to crypto instead of gold, that's the thing, And then but the stocks, yeah, but you look at now, oil's like in King's last session during the week, we look at ExxonMobil. I got in at 36, which is a great price, but now it's at 50 something and change now. So it's almost, it's less than 3% return on your dividend.
Yeah.
Yeah, the three I like to push is Verizon, AT&T, and Comcast. Um, yeah, Verizon. Here's the thing with Verizon's business model, so you guys understand this: is Verizon has the best cellular network out there, so they're number one. And then on top of that, they're reselling their service called through an MVNO, which means like Comcast is a cellular phone business, or Charter or Spectrum's cellular phone business. They're leveraging the Verizon network. So Verizon's collecting a tax, so to speak, for Comcast users and Spectrum users of the Spectrum Mobile or Comcast Mobile. So they're getting revenue. They're getting customers indirectly through Comcast and Spectrum on their mobile network. And so that's even more stickiness, is that they have a different revenue streams. On top of that, the internet backbone that Verizon owns is the largest internet backbone in the US. So that's the other thing, is that they own all the pipes for a lot of the internet stuff. So that's where Verizon will be around for a while. Comcast has over 23 million just residential customers. That's not even including commercial customers. And they're not going to go away anytime soon. And they're in, I believe, 28 out of the 32 or 35 NFL cities. And so, and then they also have content, right? They have the NBC Universal side of things that produce content. Like when I was at Comcast, it only took 2 movies to take the NBC Universal to the black. And it was, that year was the Fast and Furious 7 and Despicable Me 2. Those 2 movies alone flip the P&L from red to black. And that's just 2 movies, 2 blockbusters. So you look at that as that if you get 2 blockbusters a year through NBC Universal, you're already in the black. And then your constant revenue stream from your monthly recurring revenue from Comcast, you have that that, how do I say it, constant cash flow. They're a cash flow business. And then AT&T is that, even AT&T announced 3 days ago that they would protect the dividend. They would start deleveraging, or start delevering in the next 5 or 7 years here. So which means that they're going to start shedding their debt at pretty aggressively on there. So when you look at that, they're going to essentially going to pay down debt for the next couple of years and keep the dividend going. So that's the promise of the new CEO and their board meeting. So when you look at that, they're going to protect the dividend. AT&T owns Warner Brothers, which does a lot of content. So all your DC um, um, movies and a whole lot of other movies, along with, they're the number 2 player on the wireless space. And so those are the 3: Verizon, T, and Comcast. And I don't foresee them going away anytime soon. Yeah. CSA, CMCSA. Yep. Yeah, it's in the 6% dividend right now. Yeah. Yeah. Another one that I put in on the Facebook group is Iron Mountain. So I didn't want to put it out there in public, but on the call, let everybody know on this call is that with Iron Mountain, they store like like high profile assets in these granite mines, 2-3 miles deep into the earth. So things like Walt Disney's original Mickey Mouse, theatrical film, Charlie Chaplin original film, Microsoft's whole collection of things that they developed. Bill Gates has his own collection that they put in there and they store in there, and they pay Iron Mountain to hold it in storage, deep in the mountains, just in case, worst case, like a nuclear attack or whatever. But they've secured all that. So all your big name companies that have intellectual property or things that are highly valuable, they are stored in this place. And I visited the place because I used to work near there, and we provided them internet. And literally, you walk through, and there's armed guards and everything like that to even get through. And even then, you can only go to certain parts of their secure location there, because there's so many other locations. This is like you can drive 18 wheelers into the side of a mountain and then take elevators like down. So Iron Mountain, their business model is just holding high end assets like that. So they're earning 6+%. They're pretty steady. The stock's not gonna blow up, meaning it's not gonna get to like $80. And so it's IRM is their ticker. Yeah, yeah. So it's not gonna shoot to the moon, but it's a steady dividend play. Yeah. Also, one thing that folks may look at is there's two trash companies, Waste Management, and I forgot what the other one was, but people still need their trash taken away. So when you look at that, they pay a dividend too. So Waste Management um, is a pretty decent company that I think, but I don't think it's going to outpace inflation. That's the problem. Yep. Yep. Yeah, it is. And so me and Kevin went over this, but um, in some of the stocks, obviously you buy it in at a certain level, you sell a covered call. You can do what you're doing, which is sell in the money covered call, or I usually sell uh, a slightly above sort of out of the money calls, but sometimes I sell in the money calls, but the strike is above my original entry. You know what I mean? So say I bought the stock at like $20 and the stock's already at 30. I'm going to sell a 25 strike to lock in my $5 gain, and then sell that strike on there when the stock is at 30, right? So it's in the money when you sell it, but it's above your entry price in terms of compared to the strike price, so that way you lock in gains no matter what. And if best case is A doesn't get called away and you get the premium, right? And one thing that I told Kevin is doing what you're doing is take that premium and immediately flip around and buy as many shares as you can, and then sell contracts against those shares at above the cost basis of what you bought it at, and you're selling at a slightly higher strike, but still in the money, so to speak, right? So that you keep on doing that until you can't do it anymore. And again, two examples. One is Nokia. I did that, and Nokia's stock price went out of money, expired out of the money, and I got the premium and I got the shares. But for BFT, I did the same thing. It expired in the money. I got my shares called away, but I still locked in my profits. So, but for like, I think Gang, you already know this AT&T. You really, the premium on that is so low that it's not attractive, quite honestly. Yeah. And that's the thing that I told Kevin is that it has to be anything greater than 5 to 10%. Then I do it. But if it's not, then it's, to your point, it's not worth it. Yeah. Yes. I don't think they play IPOs, but I don't think it's successful.
Mhm. Right. The only two stocks that we bought at IPO is Facebook and Baba. So I mean, if you held for the long term, yeah, they are successful. But in first, I would say, couple of years, may not be. Yeah, but I mean, those are long holds.
Okay, I'll share an experience. So I haven't played any IPOs necessarily, but the last couple of months we've all been caught up with, getting into SPACs. So I've certainly had my fair share of getting into SPACs like BFT and IPOE, and just there's so many to name off. But one particular SPAC that that we got into is probably down a good 30-40%, and it was CLA, Colonnade Acquisition, and they already had a ticker symbol change, so it's actually OUST now. um I think I got in around 13, so now it's obviously a little bit under 10. And I recall that we talked about SPACs not really being able to dip under 10. But does this change now because the company is merged and we're, kind of in this post merger? This one is this one focuses on LiDAR technology. So I thought, hey, it'd be a good play and thought there'd be some value, but now taking a little bit of a hit here, but it's all right. What can you do? Bag holding on this one.
The thing with SPACs is there's so many now. Like before when we were playing, there's only a few that were really stood out. But now this is like everybody and their mom has a SPAC.
Yeah, the with all the recent SPACs, it reminded me of the .com bust, where as long as you had a name or domain .com, slash whatever, that people invested like crazy and speculated, right? And and there's gonna be a handful that's gonna survive or be successful. Example, when the .com started happening, that little company called Amazon was there, and I didn't invest in Amazon. I was like, who in the hell want to buy books over the internet when books are heavy to ship, right? And it was at like $40 or whatever, and you missed the boat on it. And that's kind of why I asked the group on the group chat and messengers. One thing that's pretty interesting right now is 3D printing, and that's kind of why I'm going to be looking at 3D printing hard as potential growth on it, because I'm seeing a lot of great things in terms of the being used from 3D printing. So, with the SPACs right now, it's kind of like the .com blow up where everybody and their brother is doing it, and you're trying to figure out which one's going to make it. Yeah. Yeah. So John said something about Iron Source taking Iron Source. So TBA is the SPAC. Okay. I would agree, Zong, is that SPACs are more prone to fraud. Yeah.
Some of these SPACs have warrants too. So if you don't want to, you don't want to invest fully into it, you can buy some warrants. Yeah, I mean, you can look at Nasdaq to see if the company has warrants, right? Usually they're followed by the ticker, slash WS or just a W. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. So you have to go read the prospectus to see um, what the terms are. Some are 7 years, some 15 years. Um, and the price that way you can buy it for. So like let's say Foley, right? If we go take a look, maybe it's 11. Maybe this one just because all the SPACs are pretty much in the same, pretty much close to the same. This one's probably like 7 years and 1150 as the price for converting it. So, but you buy it. You could buy it, you could sell it too, or you could buy it and keep it for however long the warrant is for. And then if the price is if it doubles and triples over the years in the stock price, you always have the option to buy it at the stated price. And then so if it's like 1150, then you'll be able to convert it to stock by paying 1150 for the stock at whatever price it is 7 years from now. Yeah, similar. Like it's a much more longer term, right? Some are 7 years, some are 15, some 3 years, whatever. Um, so you're just gonna have to go look at what the terms are. So it is basically a long-term option to buy the stock at the stated price. Yeah, I started buying warrants because I had bought so many SPACs. But yeah, I started buying warrants in companies that I thought had a good chance to be up in 7 years, and if not, at least hopefully inflation pushes the prices up. Well, evaluation is what they think that, like, if they're going to be merging, then analysts will put like the valuation of what the merger is going to, the value of both companies is going to be, and in this case, John says it's 11 billion. So market cap on the TBA is 1.3 billion right now. So, but eventually they'll need to uh, I haven't looked at what the merger is, but eventually they'll need to somehow make up that 11, 9 point something billion. Yeah, I don't know much about the iron source. And if I'm on the right website, iron source. So they're a company that they have a platform, I guess, to take care of your apps. So if you build an app, they'll take care of everything else. Mhm. is.com. is.com. Yeah, yeah. I think it's the right company, John. Yeah. Who are the competitors? This is an Israeli online advertising company. Yeah. Yep. Facebook already knows. So I guess if you're going up against Facebook and Google, it's gonna be a tough road.
Oh, good. Thanks, gang, for setting it up.
I think John was referring to the GoPro's crash. John, I don't know, John. You know how so many new players have come into the market, and when they look at a chart, they pull up a 10-year chart and they're like, oh man, GoPro is $60. You know, they'll just buy it and the chance that it'll get back up to $60. I mean, that's what I did when I first got in the market. Oh, this thing is low. I'm just gonna buy it. So, and everybody goes through that, and I think so many new traders come in, new investors, and they don't know what to buy. They just search 52-week low, and stocks that have 52-week low pop up, and it's like okay, it's low, we'll buy it to go back up, and then, that works too. Not in the long run, but like not as in investing, but as in trading, yeah, that works too.
Actually, I'm a little bit late to the party. This is Thomas here.
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah, you guys were talking about how to pick a winning stock, and I was listening for the past maybe about 30 minutes and so I heard you guys talk about fundamentals and things of that nature and stuff. That's usually what I look for too when I pick a stock for long term. So this is a long term play. So as far as some fundamentals and things like that, I look at the earning per ratio, the price to earning ratio, dividend, dividend growth, market cap, and all these other things. But did you guys talk about picking a winning stock for more like a short term play, kind of like scalp the day play, how to pick a winning stock or short term? Because I don't remember hearing that and stuff. Does anybody have a scanner that they use every morning that they find it work most of the time, found profitable stocks and things like that they can share?
Yeah, we didn't go through anything short term, but um, for me, I usually listen to my scanner. I check pre-market for gaps, and then check what the it depends if there's a stock that I see I like. I check if there's a catalyst. I check the pre-market volume, and then out the gate to see if it can actually have any strength to it. But there's so many different variables I look at, and depending on which stock it is, which industry it's in, and what the catalyst is. But for momentum, that like the stock that I don't, the company that I don't know about, I usually check if it has volume, right? One, and a lot of the companies that just pop up, they need volume to move. What is the catalyst? Sometimes I'll weigh that catalyst to see if it has any strength to it. Like if it's a drug company, that got their drug approved, right? Cancer drugs are really, really good. Like Alzheimer's drugs are pretty good. If it's like a woman's performance enhancing drug, that's usually pretty bad. I know because I was in one that drug got approved and nothing really happened, just actually went down. But there's a lot of things that I try to look at for to see if the stock is actually has any strength to move up, right? And I try to eye what all the runners have been doing for the past week, right? If a lot of the stocks that have news and they just popped and die, most likely that that stock is going to follow that because people remember what's happened the last couple of days. If last couple of days, if there's been stocks that have been 200-300%, then people remember that. And anything with catalyst, has a chance to go, especially if the float is low. So those are some things I look at.
Yeah, I was I was looking at the G Pro and was looking at, I don't know if any of you use the volume profile as one of your indicator or as one of the strategy that you use, but I use that a lot in my trading. And looking at G Pro, I think that looking at the 1 day chart for a whole year, I think G Pro is probably gonna drop down to between 90 and $10 and things like that. That's just looking at my chart, my indicator, my my standard deviation that I put on my chart, looking at the moving averages, especially the volume profile. That tells me a lot that for the first past whole year, most of the traders willing to pay about $8.50 for that stock. And so that volume profile is telling me that the point of control, which is the price that majority of the traders and investors willing to pay, is right there. So it's going to be right between $9 and $10. And also my moving averages is telling me that it's a little above my 20 and my A moving average. So it's likely it's going to dip. And also with the standard deviation 1, 2, 3, that's probably going to drop back down to the mean, which is right around 950, somewhere around there too. And so a lot of things is telling me that that's probably where the price might be going in the next maybe, who knows, 2 to 4 weeks. If I were to look at the daily chart, because if you look at that, there's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days where it pretty much went up from 8 to about $14. And that's a little, that's absent any kind of catalyst or any kind of news that they had something major breakthrough. um, I think that it's probably going to dip down a little bit. So if it was me, I probably want to take profit and hopefully it'll dip down and buy back in and stuff. But going back to picking winning stocks and things like that, I used to scanner set up on TOS that I use every morning, and that is one scanner that I set up to scan for stock, after hours pre-market that pretty much kind of gap up. And then I use another one that basically that has a change in price, at least maybe 5% price change. Set it to maybe about 10 bars ago or 15 bars ago, which meaning look back about 10 bars to tell me that during the past 10 bars, it went up 5%. And so for me, those stocks that showed up on my scanner are, to me, they're winning stock because they're going up. And so when I scalp and day trade, I look for those stocks and I jump in and out and stuff. That's how I find winning stock. It's just one that is running, and then I try to get in. But before I get in, I usually look at it to see if there's any catalyst, what there's any news, why the stock is going up. Is it because of technicals, breakout certain levels, or is it news or something? Things like that. But if I don't have time, when I look at the stock, it's just kind of pumping. I'll go in with a pretty good size if the volume is there, if liquidity is there. I usually go one lot and then take a 25 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents, sometimes $1, $2. That's like anywhere from $500 to 1,000 a month kind of a thing. So that's how I find winning stock is every morning I would go through my two scanners and look for those stock that went up about 5%, pre-market, post-market. I will pay attention to those. And then when the market opens, I will then scan for stock that go up at least 5% in the past 5 to 10 candles. So the scanner will look back about if I'm doing a looking at that trading 2 minutes chart, 10 bars ago, it'll give me stock that went up 5%. So that tells me it's the stock has volume. Um, the company doesn't make the stock goes up. It's us trader that move the stock. And so if the stock is going up quickly, meaning that people are buying. And so I like to kind of jump on the train and then get out. I don't ride it too long. And so I usually try to scalp anywhere from $100 to $1,000, depends on, how price movement and things like that. And that's how people's like, some of my buddies like, how do you keep finding these stocks and texting me, buy this, buy that? They go up, and by the time I go in, I'm going to buy, it's already down. It's kind of like, yeah, because, you got to be quick. The stock move, I go in there, and I put my order, and then I tax you, and then before you probably looked at it, I'm already about to get out.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, is finding winning stocks for short-term play. And on my long-term stock, I really look at it. I mean, I look at the company, I spend, days and maybe weeks looking at it. And then when I'm satisfied, I buy, then I don't care what happens to it. It dips, I just buy more. It dips, I just buy more. It's just kind of like your favorite, underwear, right? I mean, you're gonna use it anyway, and so it's your favorite underwear. And when you saw it's on sale, you're just gonna keep buying more. I mean, because you're gonna use it no matter what, right? And so that's how I look at it, is when stock that I picked and I decided this is the stock for me to invest long term. Then I go in and then dip, I buy, dip, I buy. I just keep doing that, and I just don't sell them. And that seems to be working very well, for the past 10 years for me and stuff. But I do have short-term plays, and I do a lot of scalping and day trading. On a lot of these, like I said, stocks that I use my scanner, and I'll be in and out. And sometimes I don't find anything there, so I just go to the ES or the OIM or the NQ and start trading there instead and stuff. So that's how I try to find winning stock. I don't look at the stock that doesn't really pump and say, okay, I think, looking at a 1 hour chart, or I hold 1 day chart and say, swing it. I think this is going to be a winner. It's breaking above certain level. It might break out, and it came back and test resist support. And so it seems like it's going to bounce off of it. It's going to make a new high. And then I swing it. I don't usually do that and stuff like that. I don't have too many swing plays. It's either long term, or I just scalp and day and I'm out, kind of a thing. And so I'm always kind of like looking for a way on how to find these stocks that is pumping. I mean, people hate pump and dump stock, but I love pump and dump. But I got to catch it on the pump side, not on the dump side. And that's the key right there, is trying to find stocks that is pumping. And when I see one huge green candle going up, I get really excited, because I write the next one, I get out before even the third one or the fourth one. When I go in with a good size though, like, if it's like a $5 stock, I'll go in with 1,000 share or 2,000 share or 3,000 share. But that stock's got to have some volume, at least a couple of million at a minimum, before I even consider going in a couple of lots into that stock and stuff. So if anybody has a scanner that they use that is pumping up some really good stocks, or finding stocks, good stocks to trade or scalp and things like that, I like to know. And so one of the one that I use is basically a simple price change study, looking for stock that is between probably 50 cents to maybe $10, volume at least 1 million, and then a study of price change at least 5% or greater, 3 candles ago, 5 candles ago, 10 candles ago. And so it will scan for those stocks, and those stocks usually are runner, but they could be short-lived. Couple of maybe 3, 4, 5, 2 minutes candle, and then it's going downhill and stuff. So I don't know if anybody got a banner scanner that they're using, that they're trading on a daily basis, finding some good stuff.
Well, I pump my scanner through the Discord voice. So one of these days, if you have time, just come in there. Once in a while, we find some really good trades that come through there. A lot of it is noise, and we kind of filter through it. But when there's a good one coming, you'll definitely hear it.
Yeah, maybe I haven't joined the Discord group. Maybe that's what I should do. And see what's going on in there. I'm in so many different groups, not just with the Hmong community, but you name it. Telegram, Twitter.
Yeah.
Even some of these pump and dump, Telegram group.
Have those worked? I used to have a lot of email alerts, right? So I know what they're gonna pump, right? And I know that it's just a pump and dump, but I usually listen to it, and then if there's a good one that um, does have available shorts, I'll wait until the dump, the pump is done, and I'll short it down. So
Yeah,
that's what I join those pump and dump groups for.
yeah. Sometimes that's kind of used for. I mean, I even a couple of groups that okay, fine, $110 as a member, I'll pay. I mean, $100 as a member, I'll pay for it. Because there's a lot of people in there, and just they actually say, well, on such and such a day, well, let's all buy this stock and stuff. I mean, it's great and stuff. So I don't know who's gonna buy it, but I'll pay attention during that time, look at the chart to see if there's any kind of anything happening and things like that. And same thing with crypto too. I mean, there's so many groups on Telegram and stuff like that. It's just good to join. I don't purely just pump and dump with them and just go blindly and do what they say. But you look at many different things and stuff. And the other thing, somebody mentioned something about waste management company, and it's one of these company that I invested in it. It's just a penny stock, but it's one that I'm willing to, spend 10 grand on it. And if it go down the drain, so what? But if, it goes to, even just like, 10 cents or 20 cents, that's a lot of money there. It's a company, it's called Blue Spare. I don't know if anybody knows that or, invested in it. It's BLSP. And what they do is, what they're trying to do is they're trying to turn all these garbage, all of these waste into clean energy. I mean, it sounds great, but I don't know. Like the technology they're building it, that's what they're trying to do. It's a penny stock, very risky, but I had some penny stock that make me a ton of money. I don't know if you guys BL as in Larry. SP, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was only like 0.001 cents, right? And it pumped all the way up and it went back down. But I'm still in good. I'm still in profit territory because it's sitting at 0.004.
It's like a pot and play.
Yeah. And so I mean, some of these stocks. I mean, I risk money for some of these stocks, and some of these stocks like TSNP, Humble. I don't know if you guys know that ticker or that company, Humble. TSNP. So it's TSNP. They just had to have a ticker symbol change. No, T as in Tom, TSN, N as in Nancy, TD. There you go, Humble. Went up, yeah. And that stock, they had a reverse merger for and stuff like that. But I bought that thing that when it was only 2 cents. I told one of my buddy when it was 11 cents, and he bought it at 11 cents. He bought it probably $10,000, had about 100,000 share, and that thing went up to $3 from 11 cents for him. And for me, that stock I bought it at 0.0123 cents, and I had almost like 500,000 shares. And guess what? It went up to $3. How much money I had? So some of these stocks, I mean, I play these stocks, but I look at it. I don't just buy it just because people are pumping it. It's a penny stock, but like I said, pick a winning stock is I go look at the fundamentals. Yeah, a lot of time these startup companies and penny, their financial doesn't look very good. But this is more like a crypto play and things like that. So Humble, it's more like a financial technology app. So it's a fintech company. And so what they're having is they're building what it's going to be an Amazon, it's going to be eBay, It's going to be a PayPal. It's going to be crypto, all in one app. And so they're accepting Visa, MasterCard, and crypto. And they have some not ETF, but they call it ETX, which is a combination of a whole bunch of crypto together, like an ETF where people can buy. But the US, people can't buy it yet, but they had opened up to almost like 300 different countries, and then people are buying the ETX already and stuff. And so this is, they're combining a lot of things in there. And so I look at it, I say, well, okay, I'm a crypto guy too. So future, I think it's going to be, digital payment and stuff. And so this is one where they got a good team, lawyers looking at it, making sure that when they launch in the US, they meet all, they're in compliance with the law and things like that. And so I looked at this company, and like I said, I bought it at 0.00, no, 0.01 and 2 and 3. I keep adding it and stuff. And then when it went to $3, I was gonna say I just cash it out, but I said no, forget it. And they did a reverse merger, and so my 500 share now is down to about 100 something share, and I sold some, took some profit, but still holding about 100K share. And I think this company, if you guys pay attention to it, just see if I'm right, that by the end of this year or next year, when this app launch, it hasn't launched yet, but they're thinking about probably March, end of March to end of April, somewhere between there, that they're gonna launch the app. Once they launch the app, it's gonna be a PayPal where you can send money cross border overseas. Western Union and PayPal right now. I think. Is that mine? I don't think it's mine. Oh, okay. Yeah, so this is if you're a crypto guy, this is going to be it. And I think because the relationship between Humble, the owner of Humble, the fact that the owner is a previous owner of Block 30, and the fact that Block 30, the owner is also a buddy of Digibyte. And so Digibyte is going to be the only crypto that is going to be used as the crypto payment in that app, along with Visa and MasterCard. So if you play crypto, buy Digibyte, because I stash up a pretty good bag of Digibyte, DGB, and Humble. So this end of this month, they're going to change the ticker to HMBL. So it's not going to be TSNP anymore. It was TSNP, but they did a reverse merger, and so Humble basically bought Tesoro Enterprise so that they can go public, and then they just recently changed the symbol to TSNPD because they did a reverse merger, and then they already applied to to FinCEN and the SEC to kind of change the symbol to Humble, and so I think that's I think the big catalyst will be when they launch the app. I think this stock is gonna double and triple if they have a lot of use case and adoption for this, because I think crypto is going to be the way of the future as far as payment and everything else. So this is a stock and a crypto play, because crypto is involved in the payment of the app, and it's a public company. And on top of that, they're using Digibyte. I think, they haven't announced it, but I did my research, and I know that the CEO and owner of Humble used to be the owner of Block 30, and Block 30 used to be have a partnership with Digibyte, and they're buddies, and they have picture all over Facebook and elsewhere. And now that they went public with, when they did a reverse merger and bought Tesoro Enterprise, TSNPD, Humble is going to use Digibyte as the crypto for payment in there. They might use Bitcoin. They might use Ethereum. Maybe not Ethereum because the gas, is ridiculous, but maybe, Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Bitcoin Cash. But I think for sure they will use Digibyte as the main one. And the price of Digibyte, I bought Digibyte when it was like, you know, cheap, right? And so um, right now it's gone up already. I mean, if you look at Digibyte, it's gone up almost like 300%. DGB, yeah, but it's not going to be on Thinkorswim. You have to be on TradingView because it's a crypto. DGB is Digibyte is a cryptocurrency, and so you know, I bought that when it was like 0.025, and now it's already 0.0758. So it's gone almost like 300, 400%. And so I find that a lot of times these crypto play, I mean, man, I mean, they give you really good return. I mean, people don't believe crypto, they don't know crypto, but I've been telling people to buy, you know, Bitcoin when they're like, you know, get down to 3,000. I say, sell your house, man. I do just get a home equity loan and throw it in Bitcoin. And people don't buy it, you know, at 3,000. And now it's kind of like 60,000. It's like, what the heck, you know? And so, um, and one of my buddies said, well, when you get back to 5,000, I'll buy it. I say, you will never see Bitcoin at 5,000. I don't think, I don't think you will never ever see Bitcoin at 5,000 ever again. Um, but these are some of the plays that I have a long-term portfolio where it's large cap, you know, dividend play, and things like that. But I have a good percentage where I risk it and stuff. I mean, um, like I said, I risk on penny stock, and penny stock are very risky. But like I said, I mean, I got lucky because I pick good companies. I don't just, you know, pick a company that is pumping and dumping. No, I mean, I look at the company and I actually believe that they can actually deliver the product, and that product is something. Um, I look at the sector. Okay, the sector is right now. It's going to be financial technology. It's going to be 5G technology. It's going to be fintech. It's going to be EV. And it's going to be, somebody mentioned earlier too. I mean, about 3D. I don't know if you guys invested in the DDD or NNDM. Those are the two stocks that is making me a lot of money there too. I told one of my buddy, and he, you know, basically stock up on DDD and also NNDM. And those things like they're like $2, $3, $4, $5. Now, if you look at it, it's just like, my God, it's ridiculous, you know. You know, we went up to the 50, 60, you know, things like that. Dropped, you know, and it dropped back with DDD. Let's see, I think DDD was, yeah, it was like 56, you know, just like a couple of weeks ago, or, you know, and it did back to about 30 and stuff. But, you know, my buddy, we bought it when it was like, you know, $4, $5. Same thing with Nano Dimension in the end. These 3D printing is going to be big in the future. And so I do recommend NNDM and DDD because if you know anything about 3D printing, boy, a lot of the stuff in the future is going to be 3D printed. Right now, I have kind of like an assault rifle, AR-15 style, that is kind of like 3D printed. It's unbelievable. I mean, you know, a little while back when you know, Donald Trump banned the bomb stock. I don't know if you know anything about, AR assault rifle and things like that. When that gentleman in Vegas and shot and killed a lot of people, he had a bomb stock installed on his AR-15, and that bomb stock turned the assault semi-automatic weapon into an almost like an full auto weapon. And that's why he was able to, shoot a lot of, bullets out of that AR-15 that killed a lot of people. And so they banned the bomb stock. That bomb stock was 3D printed, and so it's it's almost like whatever you want, and you design on the computer, and that thing's going to print it out. And there's so much thing that 3D technology can do in the future. So this is a long-term play. And even NMDM, I think that was in Kathy Wood's one of her ETF. I think I haven't tracked her ETF, but yeah, I think it's Octane or something. Yeah, and so that was I think when she bought that, that was also only about $3 or $4 when she her ETF invested in that and stuff. Um, And so I think 3D is going to be big, and these are the two play that I'm in for the long term. Yeah, so when you're talking about picking a winning stock, I usually, I mean, a lot of time I look at the fundamentals and the financial, a lot of these micro cap company, penny stock. I mean, the financial is awful, but I mean, if they got a great idea and you look at the team and who's behind it, and you look at whether those people have been successful in their life, business, and things like that, and I look at those things, and even the financials are not good, you know, I'll go in it, 10 grand, and with the penny stock, like one of the stock is a penny stock right now. It's a marijuana play. I have at least 7 million shares of it, and if that thing just go to $1, I'm rich. That's hope, that's being hopeful. But hey, 5 grand, 10 grand, if it goes down the drain, I'm not gonna, you know, sometimes I lose that in just one trade anyway. And so some of these penny stock, I really look at it and I just go all in, 5, 10 grand. And like I said, TSNPD played out very well for me, um, um, and also Nano Dimension it's a penny stock. If you really look at it, anything's under $5 is a penny stock. And so when Nano Dimension was like 50 cents, $1, if you bought it, imagine it went up to $18. If you put $10,000 when it was $1, and you had 10,000 share, and when it went up to $17, there it is. It's almost like $200,000 for you there. And you could actually say, no, I'm done. I'm not greedy. I'm quit. 100,000, 150,000. That's a lot of money. I'm just gonna sell it, and then and just lay low, and then reposition everything else. That's a lot of money if you could just look at a company and really look at it and find that when we were talking about unicorn or a jam, that's what I was talking about. Unicorn or jam stocks are stocks that right now they're penny. Nobody knows about it. Nobody's really, it's high risk, they think, because the norm is you invest in something that is conservative, large cap and things like that. But when I look at it, I look at TSNPD as a unicorn, as a gem that I found that it's going to magically make me money, and it did. TSNP. Right now, like Sugar Made SGMD, that's a cannabis play. That thing is going to be the Uber of cannabis.
Oh yeah, the little, the little, the little bus with the little buggy with the cannabis.
Oh yeah, that's going to be Uber. You just call and they'll deliver your, your goods for you. Right now, the reason is that if you look at it, if you actually research the company, they do very well, and the company is only in Sacramento, and so they're branching out of San Francisco, they branch out to LA, right? And they're gonna try to branch it out to other states that had legalized marijuana for recreational purposes. They're thinking of moving to also branch it out to Vegas. And so with Biden, and Kamala Harris making some, noise that they could possibly legalize marijuana, and even if they don't, and they don't do anything about it, the marijuana, the states are growing. Each year there's another state that legalized marijuana for recreational purposes and stuff. And so I think right now there's already like at least 12 states, and so it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to be, the feds. It's not going to crack down on the state and say we're going to come after you and sue you. Kind of that. There's like, 12 states legalize it, and then all the senators there's also okay with it. You think that there's a lot of money in there and stuff, and so it's either a lot more state is going to legalize it, and nothing's going to happen as far as the federal government cracking down on it, or the best case scenario is Biden administration actually legalize marijuana. And these is gonna go. I mean, it's just gonna like ordering your pizza and stuff. And now, like I said, I keep adding when it dropped the top. I didn't buy on the top and things like that, right? And so I keep adding, and if every time it dipped, and things like that, I add like 500,000 share, 200,000 share, 500,000 share. And so my average is just basically right now almost like when I bought it with had some of those red candles, I averaged down, and so right now my break even is just right there, and so 0.00 34 or something. That's my break even point. So when that thing just go back to like 0.02 cents, with my 7 million share, you times that by 0.01 or 0.02, what kind of profit is that? It's insane. Right now, it's pretty much, it's low. I mean, if you look at the volume profile also, that's about as low as you're going to get. And they haven't had any kind of catalyst or news to kind of pump this yet. And so I think, if you're patient and you don't sell when all that rat candles go down, you keep adding. And once you just like pump halfway, that's it. It's either you hold long term or you just cash it out at that time, because all of the people that is afraid and that's gonna sell, they already sold already. Look at all those rat candle. And so the only thing that I would lose money on this, I think I probably spent maybe total, I think about $16,000 or $17,000 on SGMD. And so I bought it, right around when it started dipping, and people are just afraid of selling it and stuff. And so I'm just sitting right now. I think if it dips more, like under 0.002, I will probably add a couple more meetings and things like that. And so I'm just gonna sit. If the company goes bankrupt, yeah, I'll lose all my money. But I don't think that's the case, because the company is just kicking, and they just acquire a couple of different company as far as delivery and stuff. So they just acquired bought car. I think they are 40% ownership, and they have the right to buy an additional how many, to the point where they are majority ownership, and they can control the company. So they bought car, and then they bought Nug Avenue, which is a delivery cannabis delivery company in LA, where they're branching out there. And so news and catalyst is just gonna come in. I think give it maybe max, 3, 4, 5 months, and this thing is gonna shoot right back up to about 0.0102, or even make a new high. Who knows? And so I've seen it done before, and things like that. You just got to be patient. If the company is gonna go bankrupt, that's one thing. But if it's not gonna go bankrupt, give it a year, and that thing is, it's in the right sector, and it just gonna, it will do, the market will do wonder. And one day when you wake up, you'll just be smiling, you know, uh, and things like that. And the other thing is, I don't know if anybody, there's only 6 participants. I don't know if anybody here is crypto, but there's another crypto which I think is just going to be huge, right? In the next 3-4 months that the app launch, it's going to be a digital COVID passport ID proof of health vaccination in your phone. All right. And they will have the app where you can actually book flights, hotel, car rentals, tour packages, where you can actually use your app to pay for it with crypto or Visa or MasterCard. And you can use that app to click and open the hotel door, the car rental. You don't have to wait online, in line anymore. You rent it. Your passport is sent to the rental company. You pay it with Visa, MasterCard, and crypto already. And the car is sitting there. When you go, you use the phone, you scan a QR code on the car, the doors open, you drive away. That's it. Same thing with the hotel. You go there, you don't need to go there and do, I'm registering. You already registered when you book online. They got your passport, everything is paid. And you just go there and skip the line, go straight to your room, and just use your phone, scan a QR code, boom, doors open, you go in. That's going to be huge. And on top of that, when you fly, a lot of these airlines or a lot of these countries now are like, okay, we need proof of vaccination. We need proof that you don't have COVID, you're negative, that you just took the test 2 days ago before you got on the plane and came to our country. So a lot of the country won't let you go in unless you have proof of vaccination, and they're looking at these COVID passports. And this company is in the right time. It's a crypto play. It's not, nothing in the stock market, but I think, and these are only still in the pennies, like, 0.008. Now it's already almost like 8-9 cents, gone up to $3,000 to $4,000% already and stuff. And so a lot of times these crypto, it's gives you a huge unrealistic return. Nothing that I've seen in the stock market and stuff. That's just me rambling about crypto. I don't know if there's a lot of crypto, people here.
Hey, Thomas, could I interject? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to going back to SugarMate, I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
and please forgive me if I missed it, but did you have a price target for this?
As far as price target, I'm looking at, because I'm not looking at the charts anymore. When I go in some of these plays, I don't look at the technical analysis on that. I look at the company and the sector. I mean, are they in the right place at the right time? What are they doing? Is this something that it will work? Is this something that people want? Their product, is it something that they can sell? And I think that they can sell their product, and that is, they just purchase like, so when looking at it, I don't have a price target for it, but I know when it goes parabolic and I have about 7 million share, what do I need to hit $1 million there? So $1 will be 7 million already, 25 cents, right?
Yep.
That's good enough for me, all right? So I don't look at the chart and say, where is this going to go? Because I can't even tell where it's going to go. But I'm looking at it, say, is this going to be a winner? All right. What are they doing? They bought land, which they're going to go vertical, meaning they're going to plant the marijuana. They're going to plant everything. They're going to package everything, and then they're going to sell it and they're going to deliver it at the same time. So they got all of these things in place and all in one. Like I said, it's going to be the Uber of cannabis. You just go on your app, order your cannabis, they deliver. That's it. In all of these states that legalize marijuana for recreational purposes. Okay? And so when I look at that, I say, all right, so the only problem right now with cannabis is that under federal law, it is still a controlled substance. It's illegal. So all of these companies that is making a ton of money, they can't put their money in the bank. They can't open a business bank account because the bank is FDIC insured and it's federal government, and anything, any profit from illegal, it's considered contraband. So all of these cannabis companies don't use banks to do business. They use like credit union and things like that. All right.
Right. Sure.
Secondly, it's illegal. So will the federal government crack down on state and saying, states, you can't do this. It's illegal. It's against federal law. Yes, you are a state. You have the right to do things, but you can't make laws that contradict with federal law. It's illegal. It's unconstitutional. They're going to have a fight. But look, at least about 10 or 12 states already legalized this. And all of these senators and congressmen in those states, they're going to say, oh, yeah, it's illegal. No, they're going to fight it too. And so you got at least 12 states that already legalized this and stuff.
I thought the Fed was also looking into legalizing marijuana, right? Isn't that the planned direction that they're going into?
Yep, that's it. But regardless, I know in the next 4 years, nothing's going to happen, see, because Biden as vice president and Obama, they didn't do nothing about this, right? Trump didn't do anything about it. So now Biden is president. He ain't going to do anything cracking down on marijuana. But he actually said that they probably looking into legalizing, decriminalizing, marijuana. So it's actually better than 4 years ago. So even if in the next 4 years nothing happens to the cannabis industry, these cannabis company is going to be in the best place to do business during the Biden administration, and in 4 years, things could change dramatically. All right, and so this company that I'm looking at it, that my break even is 0.032 somewhere around there. It's it's gonna go to at least 0.01, 0.02, and that it's already a lot of money already. I haven't done the math, but 0.003 going to 0.03, that's what? I don't know. Is that 1,000%?
That should be 10x.
Yeah,
for you.
1,000%. And so 1,000% of my $17,000 investment, I'm happy, right? And so even if it doesn't go to 0.03, let's just say 0.015, half of that. I mean, that's like a lot, right? And so when a company that already have things in place and they are already selling products and they're already making money and they're doing very well, they're only in one city, they're in Sacramento only delivering cannabis in the Sacramento area, how profitable they are already. And they just bought ownership of Bot Car, and then they went to LA and bought Nug Avenue, which is another delivery company, and they're saying that they might move to Vegas. All right. And so
I need to look into this because I'm in Sacramento, which is pretty ironic.
oh, really?
Yeah, I am. Yep.
Yeah. And so just maybe see if say, hey, Bot Car, limiting some cannabis, and see if it'll show up on your doorstep.
Yeah.
I should. I'm gonna take a picture and send it to you in the chat.
Yeah, just post it on the Mo Investors Group, say, look, invest in Nate, man, Bot Car, look at my, chill, stock market's going down, but hey, I'm feeling good.
I better get 1 million shares first, Thomas.
Yeah, it's cheap. I mean, look, this is something, like I said, And my buddy was like, why didn't you tell me when it was like 0.02 cents so I could buy it? Well, I didn't know that you were gonna invest in this kind of risky company and stop penny stock. So when I already like, it's like my God, like 2 cents, 3 cents, it went up to 11 already. And I have like 500,000 share in it. I was just like 10,000 investment, you know, going like 10x and things like that, and when it went to $2, I was smiling. It's kind of like things like, and so a lot of time I have a portfolio where I invest long term, and that is for retirement. So I'm not gonna mess around with that, right? If everything else go down the drain, I could still rely on that. But right now I'm 50 years of age. I can't just keep investing in these large cap because they're not gonna do 10x for me. I only gonna get what, 10, 20 max. All right. And so unless I have millions and millions of dollars already, it doesn't for me right now. I mean, if you guys are younger, then you have to kind of, that's just not my style right now. Right now, I'm 50 years of age. 50% is in long term, and the other 50%, I'm just gonna gamble it out. But gamble it, meaning if I lost it all, I'll still be okay. Well, I just don't throw it away. I look at the company and really, really do the research on it. And I'll throw like $10,000, $15,000 in one of these penny stocks. And to be honest, I haven't lost money in penny stocks, the one that I actually put in long term. Like Nano Dimension, it's considered a penny stock under $5, doing very well. TSMPD did extremely well. Right? And basically SNDL, another cannabis play, did well. If you got in early. Sugarmate, I got in very early, but just wait until the end of this year, all right, and see what happened. We're gonna have this conversation again, and it's either it's gonna go to zero, or you're gonna be see me smiling.
Yeah.
Also another company, CLIS. I mean, I don't know if anybody knows about that, but CLIS is going to be another app that is going to be big. Right? It's going to be an app where it's going to be like Facebook Messenger. It's going to be like WhatsApp, where you can actually just text or speak, and it will translate everything in different languages. So I don't speak Korean, but let's say I got a Korean mistress. I could just speak English. That thing's gonna text everything into Korean, and I can communicate with them easily. On the app. It's called Hey Pal. Hey Pal. It's like Hey Pal. It's just like PayPal, but it's Hey Pal app. And they have launched this in 10 different countries already, just not the US yet, but 10 different countries. And they launched that thing, and within a month, I forgot how many users on there that's using the app already. And so they haven't fully launched. But when they do, and this thing is successful where it becomes an app, and Facebook's probably gonna buy them out. Say, hey, this is a great app. It's gonna be a big competitor. Twitter, all of these things, Telegram, it's gonna be nothing, because if you could talk into it, if you could text into it, and it translate into other languages to other people that you can communicate with them, it's going to be a great travel app. It's just going to be a great app where people communicate with one another, on social media, where communication languages is no longer a barrier. And if I go to Laos, I don't speak Lao, and they speak Lao to me. I just say, what the heck you're talking? But with this app, speak into it, and then it translates into English, and I speak English, it translates back into, Laotian to them. I can communicate with them easily right there in person, or, worlds apart. And this app is going to be big. When it launched, it worked properly. You think people's not going to use it? I think it's going to be big. I mean, right now, like I said, it's only 22 cents. You can't afford 22 cents per share? Just go do the research on the company, and you'll get excited. And give it some time, because you don't invest and think that you're going to be a millionaire in like 6 months to a year. No, You invest $10,000 in it. That's about what? 10,022 would be about 22,000. Yeah.
Mm.
So 10,000, how many share you get? I don't have my. Right. So if that thing goes to maybe $5 and $10, which if you look at it, if it's an app that can do this, that it can do exactly what is intended to do, and they already launch it in 10 different countries, and how many users actually using it. And so instead of texting it in Korean, I'll be texting it in English, and boom, it automatically just transfer it to Korean or Chinese. I hopefully they have Hmong in there and it's accurate and stuff like that. But that's what it's trying to do. It's trying to use the AI technology. So the more you talk and the more you do things, the more it recognizes, just like just like Siri or something. Right. And if this app is launched everywhere and people can download this thing, I think give it just a couple of years and you know um you know um the big company is probably just going to buy it out. And if they do buy it out, you're gonna make millions on your share. Or if they don't, the share is going to go up. And so when it kicks in and people knows about the app and people are using it, the hype, people FOMO in. I tell you, and they have a product that if they can produce, people's going to use it. I know that and stuff. Um, and so I'm confident in putting 10, 20,000 in some of these, penny stocks, startup, but they must have a product and they must have a good team behind it. And usually they already have a product that it's in the development station right now and stuff. Right now I got, I mean, I could go on, but with fintech and stuff like that, I got 2 apps that's coming out. One is in the develop. I have my developer looking into it. It's going to be crypto. And it's going to be a coin that involves golf. In my app, it's going to be one where it's going to have a digital ID, QR coded, that proves whether you were vaccinated or whether you had test negative and when. And it's going to be paid with a crypto coin when you go to the golf course or the golf shop or things like that. I'm developing that right now, and it's a BEP 20 coin, which is on the Binance Smart Chain. But I'm a fintech guy too. I mean, I do all kinds of weird stuff. And so that's a business. That's a legal business. I'm developing this app, and when it gets together, I'll be paying people to kind of market the app to golf courses and golfers, and they'll be using my golf coin to pay for goods and services, and also to pay for tournaments, and also use that as prize and cash back. So when you go play golf, you get cash back in golf coin, kind of a thing. And so these are the things I'm looking at and stuff. I'm a businessman also, and I look at into these and about investment, not just invested in stock, but I look at on the business side. There's so much opportunity there and stuff. And so look at some of these things like TSMPD, look at CLIS, look at Sugar Made. These are penny stock. These are, like I said, I throw another $10,000, in VLSP, which is they're turning our garbage into energy. I don't know how they're going to do that, but if they can do that, boy, I'll be rich, because we got so much garbage. What do they do with our garbage?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why if you look at it, it's like, what? Waste management company is a garbage company, but the price keep going up. 10, 20, 30, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. And so if this company that could turn our waste into energy, convert all of these junk that we have everywhere in every city into energy, it's going to be great. And I invest big also on the EV, lithium charging station like SPE, BLNK. These stocks is going to be big. I just know it. because every Tesla, every EV vehicle out there, they're going to need this technology to charge the vehicle while it's sitting in their garage, their driveway, or their, storage facility. And gas station, as we know it, it's going to be replaced with these, charging stations everywhere. And so if you get in early, which I did, all right, I got in early and already seeing like, huge return already, And so these are things that when you were talking about finding winners, these are the products that people will be using. They don't know it now, but they will be using, like the 5G technology. All right, I invest in 5G also. I'm investing in T, Verizon, Qualcomm. Why, if you look at it, why did, Elon Musk, Bezos, Gate, why are they fighting to get a license to put satellite in space? I mean, we don't think about these things, but they know what's up. Because before we know it, if you look at it, we used to have like, I don't even know what it's called anymore. Right now we got, we got speed where broadband, cable. What's the next level? T1? No, there's an pretty soon it's going to be satellite, right? Satellite internet where it beams, and it's going to be faster, easier. People can afford everywhere. And so these folks don't just, fight each other and kind of like trying to, get license from, US government to put satellite up in the sky. I mean, they don't do it for fun. There's money to be made there. And 5 years down the road, 10 years, we'll be using those technology and they are already rich already. And so because we can't participate in those things, we have to find out what technology, what company will be providing those parts that these huge player needs in order to make their thing work. And so you get in those company and you ride it long term. It does not matter what the heck inflation is doing. I don't care what the Feds is doing. I don't care about inflation. I don't care if all these other company in the S&P 500 haven't went to zero. The one that's going to survive is the one that we need. I could tell you, people will lose their house, foreclosure, not pay their bills, but they will keep their iPhone. Even in a pandemic, they will keep their iPhone. They're not going to throw that away. That's the most important thing, that they keep right next to, their body closest to them all of the time. I mean, you probably have your phone next to you all the time too. And so we're looking at these things where people can't live without it. And so if you invest in those, don't worry about inflation. Don't worry about hyperinflation. Don't worry about, another second wave of, COVID, things like that, and so that's how I look at it. I look at it like 5 years, 10 years down the road, what people is going to need that they can't live without it. And I'm going to invest in that. And so in the short term and all these noise, I don't care what happened. All I want to make sure is that I stay safe and I live another 5 to 10 years so I can enjoy my investment. That's it. That's how I looked at it. Short of that, I just scalp and day trade. I don't even care what stock it is, and I don't even know the name. I just like it's pumping. I get in, I get out, and 5 minutes later, I was like, "Which stock was that? What was the tickler?" I can't even find the symbol. I have to go back to my, my history to see which stock that I traded in stuff. But that's how I look at it. Is yes, it's risky, but we have limited resources. I mean, we don't make thousands and hundreds and millions of dollars right now. I mean, including me. And so the limited money that I have to invest, yes, I could put it in Apple, I could put it in Amazon, I could put it in, on Netflix, and I could put it in, Tesla, and maybe these companies won't go down too much. But if my resources is limited, I mean, I won't have $1 million when I retire. Right? I won't have 2 million. I won't have 3 million. And so, yes, I gotta have to then put 50% in that, but then I gotta have to risk 50% in the other stocks that are high risk and high reward and risky. But I don't want to lose my money. So I have to really look at the stock and really pay attention to what it is that I'm investing in. I have to know what I am investing in. And when I do that, I don't care about the technicals anymore. If I look at the technicals right now, it's like, I just look at it for entry only. But once I'm in, dip, I buy. It goes up, I keep buying because, like I said, I have limited resources. And so every paycheck that I have, maybe almost like 75% goes into the stock market. The rest just pay my necessities. And like I put it in on Facebook today. I mean, you have to not spend all your money, just underspend your income and whatever is left. That is after your necessity, you put that in the stock market. Forget the parties, man. Forget all these places they go to and they have, drink beers and out in nice club and this that. It's great. Once in a while, I'll go, but you could do that for 10 years and these guys will still be broke. They might have $100,000 in cash in their bank account. But me, I'm gonna have you have 100, I have 1,000,000. That's how I looked at it. I will enjoy those things when I'm there. But now, if you try to enjoy it and live the lifestyle now, and you're not living your, it's just kind of like some of my buddies, doctors and some lawyers and business people and buying a house for $500,000, $1,000,000, just kind of like, but you don't have cash in the bank. I live in a house that is like 300,000, 200,000. But, I don't worry about cash. My house is cashed out and everything else is in there. When I retire, boy, when I do retire, I'm not going to worry about money. And so that's how I think every day is how do I invest my money long term and then some in stocks that are very risky that could, give me 10x, 20x, 100x. And so I've seen some of my stock gives me 10x, 20x, some even close to 30x. And some of these stocks, usually then I will take out, some money off of the table. If I put 10,000, 20,000, I would take that out and invest in another risky company because that other stock already make me close to $100,000. And taking 10, 20 out of that, which is pretty much my cost basis, and throw in a different risky stock. And that stock that is running and it's stable now, I keep it so that I don't have to pay capital tax gain. So I'm trying to lower my, short-term capital gain and stuff like that on some of these stock that is making, me 10x, 20x. And so if you can, every day when people are partying, they're out there having fun. And like I said, for me, yesterday and today, all I did was research stock, research ways on how to find better ways, how to read charts, how to predict where the price might be going, what indicator people are using, what script they're doing, how do I 5x, 10x my investment by the end of this year. I don't just throw in a company that people say, hey, look at this and buy it. And it's pumping. I might get in and get out, but if I'm going to invest 10, 20,000 in a company and hold it for a couple of years, I look at the company's overall, like, what is the problem and what are you trying to solve? And so if I can answer those two questions and I say, yes, that's a good idea, that is a problem. And if you can solve that problem, then it's going to be huge. And so like the waste company that turns our waste into energy, they have the technology, they're working on it and looking at their investors' website and looking at into what they're doing. Yeah, it's possible they can do that in a couple of years. And if they can do that, excellent. Even with the charging, battery charging, I mean, look at some of the technology that they're coming out with. So they can actually install a charging station right on your, garage right next to it, and all you do is just stick that in and then charge your car overnight, and you pay for the energy that you use, just like Excel now. But this is EV, and that's going to be huge. And on top of that, you already know that at least 10 or 20, 10 or 15 states, I think up to 15 now, that already have law on their books that says, by 2035, all electric vehicles zero emission free. So 15 years, it's going to be electric only. And so if you can buy these stocks at $5, $10, right now they're already 20 and 30. Imagine 10 years from now. You're going to be kind of like, so what I try to do is I'm trying to find the next Amazon, the next Tesla, the next Netflix, with some of these micro cap company. And so I have almost like 50% of my money into these low cap or micro cap company or startup penny company, which if they can do what they say they're doing, hey, 5 years, I just, it's just kind of like 20 years ago that you invest in Amazon. So that's how I look at it. That's how, when you guys say how to find winning stocks, I look at it long term. How do I do that? And in short term, how do I find stock that's running so I can scalp and day trade? And it helps me a lot, because some of my money that comes from investing in these long-term stock comes from my day trading and scalping. I take 500 here, I take 1,000 there, I take 500 here, I take 700 there. And every day I keep doing that. If I could consistently just make $500 a day, or some days I don't trade, but at least some days I made 2,000-3,000. So that pretty much, I got I reached my limit for that whole week already and stuff. And I try to do that and then use that money, turn around, just throw into penny stocks or throw into a stock I'm already in when it's dipping and stuff. So I just buy more share. I keep adding. So one of the stock, like I said, Sugarman, I think right now I just added some more. I think 2 days ago, because it dipped a little bit under 0.0, 0.03 down to I think 0.027 or 6, something like that. I added another, I think 600K share there. I think right now I'm almost up to like 8 million share. Yeah, I could be down the whole like $16,000, but then I could be a millionaire just with one stock. That's how big I go in some of these penny stock. Even if it goes down to zero, so what? You know why? Because I already make so much from TSMPD. So it's almost kind of like, yes, you have to diversify your penny stocks. And I don't just go to any penny stock. When I look at it, if I'm in it, you can ask me any question. I probably know almost everything about that company, what it's doing, what it's going to be, doing the next 3 months, 6 months, what news, what might be coming. I don't look at technical too much anymore, because technical don't tell you too much with some of these penny stock, especially with some of these micro ones and stuff. So that's just my 2 cents on how to find a winner in penny stock or mid cap or large cap for the short term, or in the long run and stuff. So yeah, sorry, I kind of like rambling on, talking too much and stuff.
Oh, that's good, Thomas. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, so do your own research and don't just go buy because I say so. Just look at it, and when you feel comfortable, say, hey, I think Thomas is right. I can see this. Then you feel more comfortable. And when the stock kind of dip, it won't scare you too much, because it has that potential to go up, and you actually will be happy. Say, hey, it did. Now I can add more, so I can catch up to Thomas.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like those plays. There's some that I've held like 5-6 years before they actually, uh, you know, did a, 10x or, some 40x.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. I mean, when you see that, it's kind of like, yes, it's just kind of like, Man, I just like I have some of these plays where I just like I'm just like you know putting that smile on my face even when I'm sleeping. I think I'm still smiling and stuff. Especially some of the
Yeah.
crypto, some of the crypto I had like they're like 30, 40, 50 X. It's kind of like my God, it's insane gains and stuff. So and a lot of people don't know, but I'm a big crypto guy. Like I said, I even to the point where I'm gonna have my own coin and my app and all the other stuff because I know that it's big right now. I mean, I went golfing during the pandemic with my brother from Wisconsin. They came up. I'm in Minnesota, and so my brothers, both of them were golfers. They came up, and then some buddies and stuff. We went golfing, and during the pandemic, you have to, wear a mask and everything else, and they won't take cash. They won't take cash. You have to pay with credit card prepaid before you get to the golf course. And that made me think. It's kind of like, well, the pandemic ain't gonna go away anytime soon. So, how do I solve a problem? And that is, contactless payment. All right, using blockchain, and so that the payment, the booking of the tea time, is on the blockchain. And basically, when you book it, you can't say, "Oh, I decided to cancel because that transaction went through." So no refund. Sorry. So you book it. If you don't show up, you're done, kind of a thing. So the golf course like that idea because a lot of time, if you book a reservation and you don't show up, they lose money, right? At a restaurant,
Yeah.
anywhere, when you don't show up. Uh, And so this is one way to do it. And the second thing is with the passport, with the ID, it's digitized, QR coded, and it has your health status on there. And when the golf course scan it, boom, your health status shows up and you've been vaccinated. Well, I like it because I know if you're vaccinated, the chances are you basically transmitting that disease to other people, the staff and other golfers is less, right? And so without my services, they're not going to know this because they can't say, hey, every golfer, before you golf, you got to bring your health, certificate over here, or you can't golf. That's not going to work. But if there's an app where people voluntarily put that information on it and they get a discount for doing that, like the golf course is going to give them a discount because the golf course get free advertising from my app because there's going to be thousands of people using it. So they get free advertising in exchange for the golf course giving my member some discount on buying merchandise, on tea times, on golf cards, tournaments, entry, and they're using that coin as a payment where you don't have to deal with paper money, which could be lots of germ and possibly COVID on there. And what they do is then they could turn around and swap that coin to fiat. And they can do that in any country. So they can in Thailand, they could actually swap it into Thai baht. So I'm thinking big. I'm not just thinking here like in Minnesota or in the US. I'm thinking big all over the world about this particular app that I'm working on. Yeah, I'm spending $100,000 and develop these things. But once I get the app going and it's working properly and all the golfers join, all the golf course joins, it's gonna be a multi-million company. I might even go IPO by that time. Who knows? If I got the app, I got the golf course joining, I might just do a reverse merger, go pick a company that is dying and just buy them out, like Humble did and did a reverse merger, buy that company out, change the ticker symbol to mine, golf, and then there you go. I'm a penny stock company. Now you guys can come and buy it, this kind of stock. So think big, think big, have some ideas, think big, because it's just not about investing in the stock market. You have ideas, put those ideas, into you know business, and you could one day you just might make it. I mean, don't be afraid of failure. I mean, I as a business person, I did a lot of business, didn't do very well, but I had business that did well, and you just learn from it.
Oh, is it 12:30? Are you gonna end the recording?